Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fine at home. Today I am here with second part of Animal Kingdom of 11th standard. Here we are going to discuss Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes and Aschelminthes. So let us start the session with characteristic features of Porifera. Porifera are commonly called as sponges. Why they are called as sponges? Because they bear pores on the body surface. As you might have seen that in a sponge, pores are present. So here also the body surface is bearing large number of pores. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetrical animal, except the vase-like and cylindrical sponges which have radial symmetry. The sponges are simple in structure and have cellular level of organization. The body wall encloses a large cavity called as a spongiocele, and in most of the cases also contain in its thickness numerous small cavities called canals or water transport system. Either spongiocele or certain canals are lined by coenocytes or collar cells with flagella. The water enter through small pores called ostia in the body wall into a central cavity, that is the spongiocele, from where it goes out through the osculum. Osculum is a large opening that helps in nutrition, respiratory exchange and excretion, that is removal of waste. In Porifera, mouth and digestive cavity are absent and digestion is intracellular and occurs in food vacuole. Almost all sponges possesses an internal skeleton. It may consist of tiny calcareous or siliceous spicules or of fine spongin fibers or of both. Reproduction in Porifera is asexual as well as sexual. Sexes are not separate, means they are hermaphrodite. Asexual reproduction takes place by fragmentation and sexual reproduction by formation of gametes, that is ova and spermatozoa. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having intermediate larval stage that is morphologically distinct from the adult. Common examples of Porifera are Cycon, Spongilla, Eospongia, etc. Here in this figure you can observe various members of Porifera. In the given figure, it is the enlarged view of Spongilla, Eospongia and Cycon. Now it is about salient features of Coelenterata, that is also called as Cnidaria. They are mostly marine and may be sessile or free living. This is very important characteristic features. They are sessile or free living. Symmetry is usually radial. The name Cnidaria is due to the presence of cnidoblasts or cnidocysts that containing stinging capsule or nematocytes on the tentacles and the body. The cnidarian develop from the two germ layers, that is ectoderm and endoderm. So they are diploblastic. They have tissues but lacked organ and organ system, so they have tissue level of organization. There is a presence of central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening mouth on hypostome. There is no anus. The mouth serves both for taking food and for throwing out feces. So digestive system is incomplete because there is one opening. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular both. Some cnidarians corals have a skeleton composed of calcium carbonate. Cnidarian members show two body forms. What are the two body forms? They are called as polyp and medusa. The polyp is cylindrical and usually fixed, that is attached to the substratum, that is why they are sessile. Whereas medusa is umbrella like and generally they are free swimming. Example of polyp are hydra and adamsia, whereas example of medusa are aurelia or jellyfish. The members of Coelenterata which exhibit two body forms and they show alternation of generation, that is polyp produce medusa asexually and medusa forms the polyp sexually. For example, it is seen in Obelia. Different other examples of cnidaria are Physalia, also called as Portuguese man of war, Adamsia, called as sea anemone, Peninsula, called as sea pen, Gorgonia, called as sea fan, and Mindrina, called as brain coral. In the given figure, you may observe Mindrina, Gorgonia, Peninsula, and Physalia. Here it is hydra, jellyfish, Midritium, and Obelia. In this figure, you may observe hydra showing the gastrovascular cavity, nerve net, tentacles, and mouth. Now we will discuss about Ctenophora. Ctenophora are commonly called as sea walnuts or comb jellies. They are also exclusively marine. Symmetry is radial. The Ctenophora develop from two germ layers, that is ectoderm and endoderm only. So they are diploblastic like coelentrates. The Ctenophora develop tissue but lack organs and organ systems. So they also show tissue level of organization like coelentrates. Ciliary locomotion is retained throughout the life. This is brought about by special ciliated 8 external row of comb plates. In Ctenophora, the digestive tract is complete and digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. Excretion takes place by diffusion through body surfaces. Certain ciliated cells in the digestive canals are responsible for excretion. Ctenophora members have property to emit light and it is called as bioluminescence. This is one important characteristic features of Ctenophora. Sexes are not separate and reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Asexual reproduction is lacking. Fertilization is generally external but development is indirect. Some common examples are Pleurobrachia and Ctenoplena. Here in this figure you may observe the representative of Ctenophora. In this figure you can see the Pleurobrachia with tentacles and comb plates. Now let us see the salient features about the Platyhelminthes. The phylum Platyhelminthes includes the flatworm because body is dorsoventrally flattened and may be leaf-like or ribbon-like in a structure. Platyhelminthes are mostly endoparasite present in animals including human being also. The symmetry is bilateral in flatworms. In this case, third primary germ layer, the mesoderm, has appeared between ecto and endoderm. This makes the flatworm triploblastic. Organ level of organization means they have different organ system. There is presence of hooks and suckers in parasitic forms through which they suck the blood from the living organisms on which they are present. The excretory system includes characteristic phlegm cells that opens outside by one or more excretory pores. The phlegm cells also bring about osmoregulation. The sexes are mostly united, means not separate, but encourages cross fertilization. Fertilization is internal with indirect development as it includes larval stage. Asexual reproduction by regeneration in some forms like planaria, which show high degree of regeneration. Common examples are Taenia, that is tapeworm, fasciola, that is liver fluke. You may observe planaria, fasciola and Taenia in the given figure. Here you may see other members of phylum Platyhelminthes. Now let us move towards the phylum Aschelminthes. They are commonly called as roundworm, as in cross section the body appears circular due to cylindrical body and tapering at both ends. Members of Aschelminthes may be free living, aquatic and terrestrial or parasitics in plants and animals. The roundworm have organ system level of organization and the symmetry is bilateral. The roundworms are triploblastic, body cavity is pseudocoelomate, alimentary canal is complete with a well developed muscular pharynx. The excretory system consists of excretory tube that removes body waste from the body cavity through the excretory pore. Sexes are generally separate and sexual dimorphism is present. Male are smaller than female, means females are longer than male. Fertilization is internal and development may be direct or indirect in some cases also. Common examples are Ascaris called roundworm, Buchereria called filarial worm and Cyclostoma called hookworm. In the given figure you may observe in Cyclostoma, Buchereria and Ascaris as well as Rhabditis. You can have observe that all are cylindrical. Here it is about male and female Ascaris. You can see here female is longer than the male. So this is all about today's session. Thank you. For any kind of doubts, please write your questions in comment section.